Hello everyone, Hobbyist here, and we're back at it with another anime review. I realize I haven't done one of these in a while, but I wanted to let you guys know that I have completely finished Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I'm not gonna lie, it is probably my favorite anime so far. It is so good. The fact that the show is surprisingly dark, like the Chimera episode, the tragedy behind the two Elric brothers, and this whole quest of being able to get their bodies back is very different to where it's not like the typical shonen I have a dream to become the Hokage or become the Pirate King or the Wizard King or anything like that. It's very different and it's surprisingly a lot more mature, even though there's definitely some comedic moments in here. Honestly, this show is pretty good. I would highly recommend it to anybody. Now, I did watch the dub. Oh, big shocker. But I did it for a very different reason. I learned from a voice actor about how good the dub for Fullmetal Alchemist is. So I decided to give it a chance. And plus, it was something to break up the monotony of watching anime at times. Because sometimes you, at some points, at least for me, you just get through the fatigue of hearing so much Japanese. So where it's okay for me to switch it up every now and then. And honestly, King Bradley was just a different kind of villain, if you ask me. The fact that there was this calm demeanor to how evil and terrifying King Bradley actually is inside the realms of Fullmetal Alchemist was just super good and super well portrayed. And the show gave itself time to breathe. It wasn't a repetitive cycle to where, like for me with Naruto, there was always a cycle of, okay, something big and serious happened, and it was a super big impact. Say, for example, Jiraiya's death. And then we go through the sad period, then we go straight to comedy. And we know that that comedy is going to be happening before another war takes place, and we do the same cycle of go sad and serious to comedy to cheer everybody up because you're not going to get comedy again for another while. It just kind of felt like rinse and repeat. But with Full Metal Alchemist, there was just this beautiful comedic timing to where the moments, each one, hit better than the last, if you ask me, because sometimes it would catch you off guard and all that sort of thing. And I think that it handles its comedy elements pretty well. I think that the voice actor for Roy Mustang was really good, especially since the relationship that's established between Roy Mustang and Edward is definitely a father-son like bond. And the way that the voice actor comes across as portraying that bond, to where there's this shift in the way that he portrays him during the more serious moments in comparison to the more comedy moments that happen. I think that the tragedy that was also behind the seven deadly sins was also something that was very appreciated. Any of the moments that it had, the emotional weight just really hit me. Whether it was from the gaslighting, from that happened to Alphonse and him questioning whether Edward was real in his intent, it just kind of hurt a little bit because you could feel that brotherly bond and that tension between the two of them. And it was honestly some of the best emotional moments. And like I said, the Chimera episode with the doctor was surprisingly dark. Scar was surprisingly dark and a bit more mature in comparison. And honestly, the way that I was able to balance all of those pieces was something that just like gave it a 10 for me when it comes to ranking it at all. And then the final battle, or the quote unquote third act of Full Metal Alchemist, was almost like an Avengers Endgame level of highs and lows for me. To where if there were high moments, like when everybody was cheering on Edward to fight Father at the very end, I just got goosebumps from that. And then at the same time, when King Bradley returned, when we were about to squash the enemy, and then King Bradley returns, and then they get their second win, I was just like super defeated inside. I could like feel that loss. It was like an opposite effect, where there was this constant back and forth of highs and lows that Avengers Endgame accomplished really well. And the fact that it happened so perfectly, and that the resolution was just this heartfelt resolution of when Edward finally gets his body parts back, and the fact that he sacrifices his abilities as an alchemist in exchange for bringing his brother back. It's just a beautiful and such a touching story. I can't even preach how well this anime executes. I haven't found an anime that executes as well as Fullmetal Alchemist, in my opinion. Because a lot of the animes that I keep comparing to Berserk. But it's a different kind of story to where I can't compare Fullmetal Alchemist to Berserk. Because to me, what's always been important to me in shonen anime or anime in general, it's always been the character development and how it balances out its themes and its tones and its messages. And I think that Fullmetal Alchemist did probably a better job than most animes that I particularly watch. But yeah, that's honestly how I feel. Do you guys agree with my thoughts on Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood? Or do you think that there were things that could have been fixed? Let me know down in the comments below. And to make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, because I would love for you guys to join with me as I keep on sending in anime reviews and all that sort of thing, because I love discussing this topic with you guys. It's one of my hobbies that I enjoy the most. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.